Now, Russia has lost as many soldiers in its 3-month invasion of Ukraine as the Soviet Union lost in its entire 9-year war in Afghanistan. That is according to British military intelligence, who say both tactical and strategic failings are to blame.
Well, this comes as Russia continues its offensives in the east of the country, with attempts to encircle the city of Mariupol. Let's go live now to Kyiv, speak to our correspondent there, Joe Inwood, who has the latest for us this morning. Joe, how do you read the state of play at the moment between Russia and Ukraine? Because kind of conflicting reports, really, about what's going on the ground.
Yeah, so having taken the city of Mariupol, now they are moving, they're continuing their advance, and they're trying to take a city called Severodonetsk, which is the last Ukrainian holdout in the furthest kind of east point. But this assessment by British military intelligence, it's really quite an extraordinary headline figure. The idea that in just 3 months of what Russia says isn't even a war, is a special military operation, they say, they've lost 15,000 men killed and 35,000 people wounded. So 50,000 men unable to fight anymore as a consequence of their actions. That's the same as 9 years in Afghanistan. I mean, a long time ago, but an astonishingly bloody campaign, a difficult and bruising one for the Russians. It contributed to the collapse of the Soviet Union in the end. Now, the British military intelligence say that there are a number of reasons for this failing, both strategic and tactical. Poor air support, inflexibility of tactics. I mean, people will remember seeing what happened around Kiev, just north of where I am now at the start of this invasion, when that huge Russian armoured column just got stuck down and was taken out by light and agile Ukrainian infantry. And it's a combination of all these factors, they say, that have led to the terrible, disastrous kind of outcome in terms of numbers for the Russians. But as you say, on the ground, they are still pushing forward. Russia has a weight of numbers that really the Ukrainians can't always cope with. And so although the Russians are suffering, they are still pushing forward.
OK, for now, Joe, thank you very much indeed. Joe Inwood there in Kyiv.
Now, more than 53,000 Ukrainian refugees have arrived in the UK since the Russian invasion began, many of them living in spare rooms given up by complete strangers.
But here's a story for you. A woman in Somerset has gone further than that. Her name is Nitsa Michael, and she's giving her entire hotel that she runs, 54 rooms, all over to refugees.
That decision was driven in part by her own family's history of fleeing war. Andrew Plant went to meet her.
It's been welcoming holidaymakers to Weston for the past 60 years. The Seaward opened in 1962 and has been open every single summer ever since. But for the first time, there'll be no tourists this year. Hotel owner Nitsa Michael will still have plenty of guests, though. She's turning all 54 rooms, her entire hotel, into a home for Ukrainian refugees.
On 24th of February, it was very loud and very bright, and I understood that it is war.
Yulia left her home in Berdansk in southeastern Ukraine when the explosion started. She is one of the first to arrive here.
It is a very bad situation because they haven't gas, they haven't heating, they haven't Ukrainian money because they can't pay with cards because they haven't internet.
So Michelle, this is one of the rooms, but it's full of stuff. What is in here?
It is, yeah. So when we told everybody what we were doing, they decided that they wanted to help. So
this is all donations from people in Weston?
Everything, right.
Who want to get involved?
It
Amazing.
Is. Some people are using Google Translate to get to the door, and then when they get here, they need help. Yeah. So we're really grateful that we've got some people that can speak English as well, and so they're really helping. They're speaking to people on WhatsApp and over the internet, just reassuring them and making sure that they know when they get here, they're going to be safe and they're going to be taken care of.
Nitsa came to the UK from Cyprus in the 60s. This family photo taken a few years later. But many of her relatives back home also became refugees when Turkey invaded Cyprus in 1974. Nitsa says when she saw pictures of the war, she began planning how to help, remembering what her own family had gone through, forced to leave their homes almost half a century before.
They left with the t-shirts and flip-flops. They don't have nothing with them because they think they're going back the next day, and it's been 48 years and they're still waiting to go back. So when we heard the Ukrainian with Russia, the war, we feel the same like we used to feel for our people as well. And myself and my family, we decide to help if we can.
And you're helping a lot of people.
A lot, well, as many as they can in the hotel, we're going to help them.
There are more and more Ukrainians arriving here every day, all forced to leave their homes by the Russian invasion. Most arrive with a single suitcase and with no idea if they'll ever go home. This seafront hotel now becoming a sanctuary for 60 people of all ages, so they can begin to rebuild their lives that have been so disrupted by war. Andrew Plant, BBC News in Weston-super-Mare.
What a fantastic
So
donation
generous.
by people,
Yeah.
by Nita. And the fact, I guess, that she's now got a ready-made community there under one roof. They can help one another and help one another adjust. Amazing.